Hi, how are you all doing? I know that I've been MIA for such a long time, but I thought that I'd come on and give you some astrology news and let you know what's going on astrologically, and also do a little bit of a collective reading. It's almost like touching base with you guys. How are you all doing? What have you been up to? And how has life been treating you? I'd say with me personally, I've been going through the seasons. It's almost like autumn for me is always a season of letting go of things that don't serve me any longer. So it's one of those times where I try not to have too much attachments to things that don't serve me anymore and know that I'm ultimately inviting the universe to bring in what does serve me ultimately. So I've written loads of notes for you guys. And it's all about the astrology that's happening. But what I'll do is I'll shuffle some cards and then I'll talk to you about the astrology that is happening around us, and then we'll see what's going on collectively. Okay, so let's dig deeper. So we've got Pisces here. I'm trying to use up all the room. Collectively, Earth. Under the bottom of the deck, we've got Mercury as well, which is where a lot of your intuitive guidance comes from. Collective guidance. What collective guidance is there for everybody who's watching this? Oh, wow. We'll take this. We'll take one more card once I've got all of these off the floor. There's one that's flipped over, actually. I think I'll read that one as well. Move some of this stuff out of the way. This takes me a while to shuffle these because I like to make sure that it's all accurate to you all. Remember to take what resonates with you guys and leave what doesn't as well, because there's some bits of this reading that will be for you, and then there's some bits that you might think is for a friend or somebody that you love dearly. Okay, so just remember that not everything is actually a message for you. It needs to really relate with your life. And with collective readings, there can be so many aspects that I will touch upon that will affect different people's lives in different ways. So like I said, just take the bits that resonate with you and leave the bits that don't, and forward those bits that don't resonate with you, especially if they resonate with a friend or a family member, and just share the link with them. Hopefully they will be able to get the guidance that is needed. But all messages that come out today are needed for somebody. Okay, let's pay attention to some of the astrology as well whilst I'm actually doing these cards to get ready for you guys. So do you know how we've got Mercury at the bottom of the deck here? This is because Mercury, on the 6th of October, which probably was yesterday, Mercury entered into Scorpio. So this is sharpening your communication and it intensifies your emotions. It brings a lot of hidden truths up to the light, especially when it comes down to letting go of old patterns and self-limiting beliefs that you have. It's a potent time. It's a potent time for emotional clearing. So I would definitely say that with this energy being around us all, we probably are feeling the spiciness of Scorpio, because that's how it can be sometimes when it comes down to the full moons being there inevitably in the end. Also, we've got a full moon in Aries, and that's dependent on where you are in the world. It's over October the 6th and the 7th, which is speaking about your shadow work and your communication skills. So I would definitely say it's a deep dive into your spirituality, into your shadows, into the aspects of yourself that you choose to hide. Because on October the 13th, we've also got Venus entering into Libra, which is about your relationships, whether they're romantic or platonic or friendships. It will highlight the energy that will help you to repair, rebalance, and release dynamics that are no longer feeling aligned in your life. Your listening skills may need to be up as well during October month. So, like I said, when it comes down to October the 13th, we're going into the energy of needing to be supportive because the energy is actually supporting that. Then we've got Pluto going direct on the same day. So the 13th of October, Pluto turns direct. So it's a turning point. It's things that you've been working on internally that will start to show outwards into your life. So you will definitely start to see the results of the things that you will do during the October month. So what I would say to you is it's definitely about being organized and getting rid of clutter, getting rid of people that don't serve you anymore. It's basically going to these types of extremes so you can really get what you need to get out of the October month. Then lastly, we've got a new moon in Libra, which is on the 21st of October. So you're being invited to welcome the new beginnings of balance and creative collaboration, and partnerships is also something that will be highlighted in October for you guys. All you have to do is leave yourself open to the frequency, and that's when you will start to see that the results of your hard work is starting to pay off. Okay. So there's a lot going on. There's a hell of a lot going on in October. It tends to be a special month for me as well, though, October, I've noticed. It's like a lot of people who were very, very, very important to me passed away in October. And then a lot of brand new beginnings start in my life in October. And it seems to be like a pattern that happens in my life, which I tend to enjoy because it's something to look forward to. But at the same time, you're also looking at something that you have to grieve about because you're having to let go of something that doesn't serve you anymore. So it's almost like bittersweet. That's the best way I could put it. Laugh at you, demons. We'll put this down here. I'll show you in a minute because I need to organize this so you can see it all. Wow. Collective energies. But that one's just dropped as well. We've got forgive and forget underneath the deck as well. So is there anything going on in your life that's feeling a little bit tumultuous where you might need to just let things be what they are and let things go? Okay, let's dig into this energy for you guys. Okay, so there's an element of sensitivity that will be there for you guys. I would definitely say over October. I'll put these here because you're not going to be able to see them. I'll show you whilst I'm going around the cards to explain what I'm talking about here, right? You guys need to listen to the spirits around this period of time, right? The reason you're needing to listen to the spirits is because you are getting into manifestation mode. So there's things about you that you know you want to change in your life, and you're having to make these choices towards these things that you're wanting to do. It's going to take an element of sensitivity at first because you're going to have to be very objective in the decisions that you're making. You're going to have to be action prone, especially with the Empress being there. It's basically speaking about all of your maternal energies, but not only that, needing to nurture yourself during this period of time. It's all about self-love, filling up your cup. So when you're filling up your cup, you're there for other people. You've got the Ace of Pentacles underneath it as well. So don't fool yourself into believing that your self-care comes last, when in actual fact, it comes first. On top of it as well, if you notice, the Empress is sat on Venus. So around October the 13th, you guys will probably see that there's some changes, some sort of metamorphosis has happened because of the hard work that you will probably do up until that date to make the changes in your life. So I would definitely say, like, look out for the symbols around you guys. Also, when it comes down to being a mother as well, one of you guys might find out that you're pregnant, or one of your friends are pregnant around you. You may also start to feel like you are thinking about new decisions that you wanting to make in your life, and your mind may feel like you have so many seeds that you're planting, that you're ready to bring into fruition into the near future. It's just basically sitting on your plans and thinking about how you're going to execute them next. So I would definitely say that there's like a gentle aura around you guys, especially if it's who I'm reading for and who is feeling called. And yeah, if you're feeling called to this, then you will definitely understand where I'm coming from. Hermit, you probably are wanting to keep to yourself quite a lot, okay? You're probably very protective over yourself. Not only that, very protective over your family and your emotional security. The reason that the Hermit is there because you're needing to be introspective about things that you could do to be more nurturing towards yourself, okay? Not only that, you might want to start to do some shadow work, which I have actually highlighted to you because it's astrologically speaking, this is the perfect time to do shadow work. But you guys might be less tempted to do that shadow work just out of the simple fact of feeling like, I don't really want to go into these deep dark caves of when I was feeling pain in my life, when I was going through it. You might be rejecting wanting to do that just out of the simple fact of being fearful of what you may find. But just remember, if the Hermits come up with the Empress as well, it's usually speaking about you guys being super, super, super spiritual. And if you look 393 at the bottom, look up those numbers, 393. Okay. Then add up the 315, that adds up to the 9, which is here. So there is definitely a decluttering of your life when it concerns shadow work that you guys need to illuminate, and you need to start going into understanding what it is about you that you need to do to heal yourself to be able to go into more of a prosperous time. I would definitely say with the Three of Cups as well, it's like a celebratory time for you guys, but it's not always just about celebrations. It could be about friendships that are not actually serving your life anymore, because the Hermit is there when you're needing to look into the things that you can't really see that are happening in your life that are ultimately affecting it. So I'd definitely say when it comes down to the topic of friends, are you your friends living a life that you feel inspired to live to? Yeah, see, are your friends coming around you with a lot of burdens and basically just telling you all of their problems where you feel slightly depleted when you leave them? Do you feel like you're always having to ground people when they're coming around you? With the 10 of Wands, it's like there's no more weight that you can hold onto your shoulders. There's too much weight on your shoulders that you have to give some of it up. And this is the perfect time to do that, but you have to be proactive on that, because you may have quite a lot of times when it comes down to your friends that you can look at them and cherish them massively, but then sometimes you may look at the almost like the shadow side of them, and you may not like what you see because of the way that they handle their shadow side. One thing I'd say about humans is that we all need to understand that we all have a dark and light side of us. We need to be just as concerned about the darker side of us as we are concerned about the lighter side of us. So I would definitely say it's just all a part of being human, and you need to be unapologetic about being human, and also instilling some boundaries where you feel sometimes they're being overstepped. Okay. Arch nemesis, a frenemy. So you'll probably find that there's something going on within the family home. It could be siblings, it could be brother and sister fights that happen over October. It could also be a family that's outside of you guys. So if you are a single parent and the other parent has moved on and they're with somebody else, you might find out something to do with that situation. But these are normally affairs to do with the home, right? So there's some sort of energy going on there where you may fit your look. So it's your friendships that you need to look into. You also need to look into when people hate on you, but pretend that they're not hating on you. Ten of Cups. Wow. So this could also be to do with your relationship as well. You may find that your relationship is starting to turn slightly sour, where you're feeling like everything that's going on is like it's having a detrimental effect on the compatibility between you and another person. It can also be speaking about somebody in the family stabbing you in the back, which is why you may find that there's some sort of argument that happens. But this is mainly about boundaries, respecting each other's boundaries, respecting each other's space. But with the Ten of Swords, there's only so much one person can take. Ten of Swords is where you've taken enough, if that makes sense. You can't take any more if you tried to take any more. So this is the reason for feeling quite defeated. Queen of Swords, you need to be in a position where you are not really looking at things with a very emotional view and focal point. You need to be in a logical place. If you're not in a logical place, you will find that all of these betrayals that you felt can turn you bitter. Now, if you choose to look at it in a logical way, you will find yourself being in a position where you're just speaking your truth, and who can handle it will listen. Who can't handle it won't be able to listen. And yes, they may walk away and slag you off, but at the same time, you need to be in a position in your life where you are speaking clarity. Not only that, maintaining and sustaining a level of balance within yourself throughout all the chaos going on around you. Yeah, I would definitely say that. It's like you're having to make the judgment calls here. You're having to be the truth in the darkness, but you're also having to keep your wits about you. So be very careful about that, because if you don't keep your wits about you, you'll find that sometimes people try to get away with things. As my gran used to call it, it's almost like being a ginnel. Someone's trying to get away with something here, and I think that you start to see it for yourself as well, which is a little bit annoying, but you know, it is what it is. You've noticed it, especially with the Queen of Swords. You're not taking no shit from anybody. So we've got flings as well. Wild things, short-lived karmic connections. So there's basically somebody that may be trying to come around you guys, that you are not interested in. The person might be trying to reconciliate with you as well, but there's definitely something here where it's like a full-on no-go area for you. And look what I've just turned over off the floor. Four of Cups. It's like you've felt some sort of element of rejection. This is the reason why you have no love to give to any sort of fling. You've got serious about your life. You can absolutely see that. It's just that you're having to catch everybody up around you to the difference in who you are now, if that makes sense. You're completely different. It's like you can see what an energy sucker is versus what a person that is meant to be in your life looks like. You can overstand it now. It's weird. It's like you've gone from being highly emotional, nurturing, empathetic, like motherly or fatherly type of energy to other people. People will trust you with anything. And then it's like through a little bit of, well, not a little bit, quite a lot of it of pain, it's brought you to a place of like, nope, I'm not going to be a victim to anybody's shit anymore. I will not go around anybody that doesn't understand my worth and value. And it's a beautiful thing to see, because you're not allowing your emotions to take over anymore. You're allowing your logic to take over. And that is when you tend to start becoming the master of yourself, if I'm honest with you. That's when that happens. The Hanged One, yes, you are fully starting to recognize when a person is an energy vampire and when a person is coming around you for good or bad intentions. The funny thing is, though, that you probably feel like it's difficult to get them to understand where you're coming from. But the key with the Hanged One is to actually surrender, let go. Let go of things that don't serve you anymore. If it's a soulmate connection and the person's meant to be in your life, they will always come back into your life if they're meant to be in your life. But for now, it's like you might have somebody around you that's got a very distorted way of looking at things in comparison to you. You're looking at it very logically. they're looking at it in a very discombobulated way. They have a lack of a grasp on reality. That's the best way that I can put it. Okay. So somebody needs to wake up. But at the same time, it's like it's going to be causing some sort of adversary like elements around you inside of your house as well. And then there's triggers here. Now, what I want to say to you is I don't want to be like, oh, you know, look out for the triggers that are be coming into your life. What I think you need to be aware of is that these triggers are because you need to do your shadow work. You need to think about the times in your life where you felt abandoned, or like you was the outcast of the family, or you was the outcast of the situation. So instead of actually worrying about these past triggers that you felt, you need to think about the fact of what advice would you have given to yourself when you was going through that. So just pretend you could get in a time machine now and go back to the past version of yourself. What advice would you give to yourself when you was made to feel intimidated, when you was made to feel like you was going to lose your home, or when you was feeling like there wasn't enough food in the cupboards for you to eat, or whenever you felt insignificant, or when your mum said that particular thing to you, or your father said that particular thing to you. Either way, you're going to be feeling triggered in October. I'm going to need you guys to understand that these triggers are not in your life to intimidate you and make you come away from the healing road. That is not why you get triggered. You have to remember that the government and social indoctrination has taught us that going into the dark, dusty parts of ourselves that our trauma was stored in is not a bad thing. It's not something to avoid. It's not something to medicate. It's a place within yourself that you need to alchemize to be able to bring yourself to balance. Okay? So don't avoid it. Don't disassociate from it, because you will find that it starts to get worse. Okay? So what I want you guys to do when you're going into October is remember the patterns that are happening around you that are triggering you, but also making you think about things from being very, very young. So when was the first memory that you felt of being the outcast? Okay? Comment below if you can think about when was your first memory of feeling like you was the black sheep, the outcast, not understood, or not going to be understood, right? When you've actually remembered that, I want you to also comment what advice you would give that version of yourself now. What would you say? Little do you guys realize, the more that you do what I've just advised you to do, that is also regression. That's shadow work within itself. It doesn't have to be a big ceremony and a big ritual. It doesn't have to be something that is made to be glamorized. You can do this at home on your own in the quietness of not having anybody even know what you're doing. It doesn't have to be extravagant. Shadow work is quiet. And my God, is it mighty once you actually master the craft of how to do it. Because you will never go back to the place that you went to go and heal it in the first place. So just remember that every bit of darkness that you guys heal within yourself, you will never go back to the same level of darkness ever again, because you've already healed the depths of it. So that's just a little bit of a pointer, okay? So with avoidance and disassociation, there's some sort of plans that need to be done. There might be something when it comes down to the government, some sort of letter, some sort of contract that needs signing or sorting out. But this is about collaborating. And the more that you do choose to collaborate with people or utilize the government to help you, the more that you do that, the more you will find that you will stop disassociating, and you will start to understand that everything is happening for your benefit, not for your hindrance. Okay? It's it's your perception, I would definitely say, but we've all got a distorted perception when you've been through a lot. Three of Pentacles. Yeah, so with the Three of Pentacles, we've got the King of Swords here, right? We've got the Queen of Swords here. So these two are the counterparts of each other, okay? There's definitely some plans, some contractual agreement. There's something that needs to be signed. There's something that needs to be looked at that is being avoided, and it may feel slightly annoying that it is being avoided, but inevitably in the end, it will all work out to be for the best once the situation is actually over in the first place. Justice, judgment, wow. Like these are big major arcanas as well, so it's like you've got major things happening in your life that are calling for you to step up right now. And yes, it might feel really difficult to be able to step up at the minute, but it's like your body is trusting you to be able to do that, because you need to get to a place with yourself where emotionally you're feeling less defensive and you're in a place where you're starting to feel way better. Do you see? Going from the 10 of swords all the way to the 6 of swords, okay? So it shows that there is healing that can happen here, but at the same time you've got to you've got to understand that everything did happen for a reason, but don't avoid digging to those depths. Don't avoid it. I've done it before, and all I can do is speak to you from experience. Every single time I've avoided healing something within myself that's like a shadow aspect of myself, it comes back again within like a year, 2 years, and it is 50 times worse than the first time that I felt the actual feeling or the situation. Okay. It's like the universe wants to see that you are listening. That's all the universe is asking for from you guys. Let's see what behavioral issues is. So you might be feeling slightly up and down emotionally. Yeah, right. So 6 of Pentacles and the Strength reverse. Then we've got the Star here. So there's some sort of like foundations, tower moments that you guys may be feeling, or collectively you might be feeling that the energy feels very sticky, meaning very tense, almost like you're trying to catch a break, you can't catch a break, you're trying to get on top of your ego, it's hard to get on top of your ego sometimes. You may find that there's a child around you that has some sort of behavioral things going on. I'm not going to say behavioral issues, because I don't believe that anybody's behavior is an issue. I believe that people's behaviors are usually a byproduct of how they're feeling inside, or how their environment is feeling, so therefore they act out in a certain particular way. There's definitely something going on here that will be dug deeper into during the time. So if there is a child that you are thinking, does my child need to be assessed for ADHD or autism or anything to do with um, neurodivergent gifts, that's how I will look at it, anything like that, you will probably find that you gain some answers about that this month in October. Yeah, you will. The challenge though then is to actually understand that you've now gained your answers. So what are you going to do with your answers? Because it doesn't mean that your family is imperfect now that you've found that a child or yourself has been diagnosed with something. It actually enables you to be able to feel sturdy again. It helps you to feel more positive because you've finally been heard. Or if somebody's taking their son or daughter to be assessed, you'll finally feel like you've been heard in October. Okay. Wow. 777. Face fears. Now, it's easier for me to say face your fears, but I wouldn't just think of a list of things that you're fearful of and then just go and face them. I would wait for the triggers to happen, collective. Wait for the triggers to happen. When the triggers happen, then you need to face the fear of the particular thing. I fear what, I'm not going to lie to you, I just got told from my spirit guides not to bite off too much than you can actually chew. So this is why I'm telling you guys, only deal with the triggers that come up. That's another problem with people who do a hell of a lot of shadow work, they seem to always look for something to need to heal. Whereas to me, if it naturally and organically comes up to you, then that's what the universe deems fit for you to need to heal. If you go into the depths of your soul and do shadow work on every single little thing, you'll probably find that it can start to turn quite depressing. So this is why I say, think about the triggers, face the triggers. If you find it difficult to know how to do shadow work or do any of these things, you're welcome to drop a comment below and I'll send you whatever guidance, advice that I'm receiving or can give to you that will help you. But facing your fear, and whilst you're facing each one of these fears, remember to trust the universe, because the universe has your back. The universe has triggered the fear to get you to feel that element of calmness again that you used to feel before the triggers happened. Go in the house, the flat, your room, wherever you are, and make sure that you are creating space for new things as well. So let go of things that don't serve you anymore. All of those old magazines under the bed, get them picked out and put them in the green bin. Old shoes, do you really need them anymore? Clothing that you used to wear that you've not worn in the past 2 years, you don't need them anymore. It's time to declutter. The more that you do that, I don't know if it, who was it that I read? I read a book and I can't remember what book it was, but I remember that something was written about having a tidy house or a tidy place to live is a tidy mind. And tidy windows, clean windows, are also representative of your mental capacity, the way your focus and your clarity and how you can absorb information. So I would definitely say, like, visit the tips this week. Make sure you're getting rid of, look, that's so crazy, she's just tipping things out, which to me is really symbolic of decluttering as I'm speaking to you about it. But yeah, you're needing to definitely create more space around you so your mind can feel clearer. You're letting go of heartbreak as well, especially if it comes down to feeling elements of abandonment from somebody in the past, because you may also feel like you need to book a little quick trip, a weekend trip away. You might feel like you don't want to live in your particular property anymore. You might feel like you want to move. Yeah, see? You might feel like you're actually ready to move and leave, but you also may need to save up the funds to actually do that. So one of your guys' shadow aspect may be that when money comes into your hand, it goes straight out of your hand again, right? So that might be something that you need to look into. But your abandonment wound, the best way for me to help you to heal the shadow side of that is to think about yourself when you first felt abandoned. And then I want you to go back into your mind, almost like you're in a time machine, and go back to that age of that person. Give that girl, that boy, give that person the advice and guidance that you wished that you would have received when you was feeling how you felt in that moment in time, and then embrace that version, that younger version of yourself, and keep doing that until you start to feel a little bit more completed within yourself. You will feel like sometimes you're inclined to come out of the meditation, and sometimes you may want to sit in it. Either way, you are super protected. You need to look into the throat chakra as well. Wow. As I said it, my throat went really weak. So be careful of the little viral bugs going around as well. I would definitely say that. Look up Archangel Michael as well, because he comes up under the color blue, but there's definitely a protective energy around you guys once you've done the shadow work. So don't be feeling like, well, you can feel like that if you want to, but if you are wondering, am I actually protected as to why I'm being triggered? Yes, you are, most definitely. Just because you're protected energetically, it doesn't mean that you can't go into the shadow aspects of yourself and really refine yourself so you can enjoy this part of life that we're supposed to actually be enjoying. But at the same time as enjoying this life, we need to remember that we're also in the school of life. And in school, you have to learn things. So yes, don't wonder if you're protected. You most definitely are protected. But be proactive on making these changes in your life when it comes down to your triggers and stuff like that. Somebody's going to be very defensive about stealing or doing something quite conniving. That's something that's going to come out to you guys. You may even find that somebody's telling you that they've got less earnings than what they actually do have, right? It could be something like that. It could be a child coming to you guys and saying that they need more dinner money when really in actual fact they don't. Like, it could be as little as that, but it also could be as big as like somebody nicking something in your family, or in work or whatever it is, and everybody's pointing the finger when in actual fact it might come out who it was, who's actually done the stealing. Because they may think that they've got away with it, but I don't actually think that they have, you know. Three of Wands. Okay, so basically, you guys may hear something from a distance about family members doing something untoward to other family members. So there may be a phone call from a different country that is basically explaining to you about who the villain is in the family, or you will be discussing this with another family member. Okay, your friendships are going to be really important to you guys. But at the same time, there is a friendship around you guys that you've probably found that a friend of yours is going through an abusive relationship. But do you know what's really sad? It's like, if this person is going through an abusive relationship, it's like you may want your friend to speak up about it so you can be there for them, but they're not going to speak up about it. That's like keeping it to themselves. Also, this is for other people who are in a love situationship here. You may find that you've got a friend with benefits that's going to turn into something more inevitably in the end. Sorry, I'm purging, guys. But this situation could inevitably turn into being something that's not as healthy as you might like it to be. The sexual passion is there, don't get me wrong, but you may be wondering if it's going to turn into something new. And with the Page of Wands reversed, it's something that's like it's still weighing up in the balance, and you may be wondering when you're going to get some sort of answers about this, but it's still going to stay on the communication side of things. I would definitely say, like, I don't see love here. I'm not going to lie. This looks like fling energy. But I'm not going to lie to you. It feels a little bit like when this person feels like you're coming away from them, they try to communicate again to see if they can come back around you again. And that's when you probably start thinking, well, maybe it's something else, but it's not. It's this person's not serious about making decisions that are going to make you proud, if that makes sense. So you may find some sort of revelation about that. And then you've also got an apology coming, or you will be giving an apology yourself. Okay, the lover's being there, so you may find out a secret about your lover. You may find out something about them that makes you understand, okay, so they were the illusions that you were carrying around me. I now know who you was as a person, which will then make somebody feel quite remorseful. That's what that looks like to me. Somebody will feel remorseful and try to offer you an apology in some way, shape, or form. We've also got magic here, though, as well. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by magic? Yes, right, okay. If any of you guys have had a breakup in a relationship and you've wondered if somebody else has tried to do some sort of spell work on your relationship, they've done that. They've tried to affect your love life. They've spent money to affect your love life. Now, if that doesn't actually relate with you, right, what you will probably find is that love is coming into your life after great disappointment. Okay, you just need to be in a position where you're able to actually take the love that's going to be offered towards you, and you need to know the differentiation between somebody that's quite toxic versus somebody who is romantically there and available and loving. and deserving of the best parts of you, not the worst parts of you. Okay. So what I would say is, the more that you heal the triggers that are within your soul, the more you will be very privy to understanding who's a good person versus a bad person. But yes, somebody's coming around you guys to try and give you an apology about something. Whether it's sincere or not is another story. That's what I can see here. It just don't look sincere to me. So this is your advice. Imagine the solutions and laugh at your demons. So it's easy for me to say imagine solutions and laugh at your demons, but just remember, like, every single time you start to heal something that's a shadow aspect of yourself, you never have to visit that again. So just envision it as something that may have ugly truths hidden within it, but in the end you will start to feel like you've defeated like a big lump of something within you that needed healing in the first place, that your body has been calling for you to heal. And also remember, sometimes when your fears come into your body, the fears only come there because they're coming to try and stop you from being the greatest version of yourself. So what blessings are coming once they've got rid of all of this? What blessings are coming once they've done this shadow work? What blessings are coming once they've done the shadow work? That's really nice. What blessings are coming after they've done the shadow work? Wow. One more. Take this one. Wow. Okay, so if you guys choose to do the work, you'll find that other people come around you guys who are emotionally available, and they bring the same energy that you bring to the table. So you're in great company, right? But it's going to take, I'd say, it's going to be around 2 weeks after you've done this work. That's when you'll start to see that this person and these people are coming around you, and just pretend you've always wanted more loving interactions. That's exactly what's on the menu. If you wanted people that would reflect the truth to you instead of trying to tell you a sweet lie because they think that it'd be nicer for your ears, you're going to get a bunch of truthful people coming around you. If you are wanting people who are successful around you, that are enthusiastic, that can help you to search the deeper levels of yourself and have a successful, progressive life, that's what's on the menu for you. After that as well, you've also got peace. If you look, this is the lower chakras and the heart chakra as well. So you will feel very stable inside of yourself. So like I said, if there's any abandonment wounds or anything that was going on in the past, this is where you will look back and be, I wouldn't say you'll be grateful for being abandoned, but you'll definitely be grateful that you did the shadow work regarding the abandonment, because somehow anybody who triggers you in that way will not be able to touch you in that way again. It just won't hurt your feelings, if that makes sense. But it will feel almost like a small miracle to you guys, because something that's been said or something that is going to be done is not going to affect you anywhere near how it used to. And the most important thing of them all is that you guys will be protected from the evil eye. So if anybody has been on the internet watching you guys or seeing if they can send you any disgusting energy, I will be the warner for the cross watcher watching this. The amount of things that will be coming back to you if you have chosen to do something towards somebody of a negative context, or tried to ultimately take away somebody's free will and play God with somebody else's life. There is a hell of a lot that you will have to answer for, not only on the earthly realm, but on the spiritual realm. And all I can say is that God just doesn't sleep. He doesn't sleep. So that's my little 2 pence when it comes down to that part of things. But this is the blessings that are coming in for you guys. Just remember, you're entitled to all of these blessings, if not more. And I will be back in a few days with a pick a card reading. Let me know what sort of subjects that you'd like me to read about. It's really helpful because I will do the list of what you guys ask for rather than what I feel like you guys need to know. But for now, I will leave you alone. Please like, and share with somebody who you feel like may need this advice, because somebody will need this advice. There's a reason it's all just come out as plain as it has. And remember to all be there for each other, because we're all ultimately just helping each other to have a better time on this earth. Be kind. If you can't be kind, just don't say anything at all. So, yes, I'm sending love. Take care, and I'll see you guys soon. Ta-ra.